Good afternoon, my name is Alejandra Lopez and I'm going to present the case study number 2 for the assessment 2A. The purpose of this presentation is to identify the risk, protective factors, challenges, and ethical dilemmas for this specific case, how strength-based dilemmas and trauma-informed practices are essential when working with young people and their families, and how can we link the framework and the legislation available in Australia. Jaden is a 12 years old Aboriginal boy. He lives with his mother and with Steve, his mother's partner. The school is being noticing that Jaden's behavior is being worse. A core engagement officer notes that he also is begun talking about how he hates to go to the school, he's refusing to go to the school, and he's been found hiding. Tanya canceled twice the follow-up meetings to talk about Jaden because she feels stress and shame. Tanya also does not trust in the system because past experience with child protection and the police. She's been victim of domestic violence, but she does not want to report until it gets worse the situation. Child protection was called before, but nothing happened because it was screened as below threshold. So the risk factors are all those traits and conditions that can raise chances of harmful and negative outcomes in young people. In the case of Jaden, we consider is the exposure to family and domestic violence, school disengagement, the distrust in the system, cultural vulnerability, is a problematic home environment, emotional distress, and also socioeconomic disadvantage. On the other hand, we have the protective factors. These ones are attributes that mitigate the impact of those risk factors and can foster resilience and support to navigate to the adversity. The protective factors identified in this case are the culturally relevant support in the school. He has a core engagement officer that might understand the specificities of their culture, behavior, the school concerns, and other protective factors, and Jaden's ability to verbalize his feeling. He might need help to verbalize adequately, but he's willing to do it. With this eco map, we can see how are the relationships between different systems and Jaden. So we have as a positive connection the school core and the teachers and the school staff. As an stable connection, we have Tanya, his mother, and the public housing. We don't know, but might be crowded or a stressful environment for him. And also the negative and stressful connections. We have the relationship between Jaden and Steve, child protection and Jaden, and the peer relationships that are being mentioned before as an aggressive. What are the practice challenges? The challenges are the child protection report. It was screened as a below threshold, so he didn't receive any support. We have a disengaged mother, a system untrust because of her mother with the police and child protection before, but also Jaden with child protection, emotional neglect, and cultural safety concerns. The ethical dilemmas in this case are the balance between child safety and the mother autonomy and respecting the cultural values. Key factors when working with Jaden is all this story of intergenerational trauma, child protection, abuse before, so that can be a barrier for them to access to the services on their own. That's why building rapport is essential for the workers in this case. We need a cultural and responsive practice that acknowledge the importance of family, community, culture, and country for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islands. We have to involve Jaden in the decision making to understand his own views and to have a transparent process with him and his mother. Trauma-informed practices in terms of cultural competence practices and cultural responsiveness, connecting Tanya and Jaden with the community and their traditions. About the strength-based practice, we have that build a relationship with a child and listening what he has to say is the core, is the basis of this approach. So engage the family is essential to evaluate the level of safety of Jaden. Connect Jaden and his mother with the community and the culture is very important, also to be transparent with them during the process. It's important to recognize the mother, her opinion, and her cultural way to see the different issues, and to recognize the strengths. Every family doesn't matter the problems, all have a strength, so we can navigate on that. The frameworks and legislations are the rights of the children, the UN Convention, Article 19, the National Framework for Protecting Australian Children, Children and Community Services, National Agreement Closing the Gap, and the Case Management Framework. All of this in terms of protected Jaden's rights, the culture, services that are culturally aware and to support Jaden and his mother. Thank you so much.